Right, hello everyone. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm not in the best of moods. In fact, I'm in shock. I feel so miserable and absolutely devastated. And I imagine most Arsenal fans do. So the question I have is, why do you feel so upset if this cup doesn't matter and it's a small cup? And I've got a lot to talk about today, and I'm really, really angry about this. I'm also angry about how some of our fans have been talking about this cup and taking it so lightly, when I don't think we have a right to take this cup so lightly when we haven't won it for 34 years. I wasn't even born when we last won it. And who are we to stick our noses up at a cup that Pep took really seriously for, 5 years? Only recently has he tailed off a little bit after winning the treble. Pep saw it as a really important part of the start of their season, and yet again, we throw it away through playing a weakened side. Look, and this stream's, it's going to be fair. I'm not just going to go in on the manager, go in on the players. But we are going to talk about the starting lineup, and also why this cup matters. I'm so upset about this. And I already know that people will be saying, oh, we didn't want to stay in that cup anyway. Bigger fish to fry. Do you remember how big a fish to fry worked out last season? So basically, my take is that there are 4 possible trophies Arsenal can win this season. We don't want to be trophyless again like last season, do we? The only trophy we've won is the Community Shield, which is kind of a pre-season one, and the FA Cup. And we're just going to keep getting told by other fans, like, what have you actually won, though, under Arteta? And there were 4 things that we can win this season. The easiest, by far, of which to win was this cup, the League Cup, the Carabao Cup. And we've just been knocked out to West Ham, who took the cup seriously, showed it respect, and we played basically a B-string team again, like we always seem to do in the cups. And I'm fed up with it. I'm really fed up with it. And you guys know I love Mikel Arteta. Like, I love the guy. In fact, I was going to do a video saying about how awesome that 5-0 Sheffield win was, but then to field this lineup, it's so predictable, and I'm so annoyed. We're going to get into all of it, and we're going to do player ratings. So, Brenny's saying that starting 11 was good enough to win tonight. It should have, yeah, it should have, but clearly it wasn't good enough to win tonight. Or was it a case that West Ham were just way better? I think the players were good enough, but the combo that they were set up in was just nowhere near the level required to play against a physical, in-your-face West Ham team. And those players basically haven't played together in that formation ever. It was such a huge change from the starting lineup. And I'm all for rotation. I really am. You guys know I'm saying that we're going to need these players later on in the season. We need to give them minutes so that they don't come on cold. But in hindsight, and hindsight's a wonderful thing, starting so many players that haven't had many minutes together just really affected the overall chemistry of the team, I think. Individually, they're all really good players. But about 6 or 7 of them haven't even played together this season. So it was risky. I wrote when I saw the starting lineup, I'm happy to see rotation, but too risky. So we're going to get into it. First of all, let me say a couple of hellos to you guys. So for that, we're going to do... I'll show you that in a sec. So it's chat catch-up time, you guys. Ravi saying, what was the game plan tonight? We'll have to try and work that out. But from what I can think, it was to kind of out-technical them and pass around them. But as we saw, when you're against just brute strength and like them running their socks off, we didn't really have the quality to do that. Perhaps our first team could have done that. But those guys, it was too much for. Crispy says the players have to answer for this one. Really good point. As Brenny said, the players were good enough to beat that West Ham. That lineup should have beaten that West Ham side, but it went badly wrong, and we'll get into why. Pee off with this. Hey, Guna Gargamel, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm really annoyed about it, and I'm going to be so annoyed, when I see channels tomorrow saying we didn't want to win it anyway, it doesn't matter, on to the next, on to bigger and better things. So what I was saying is there are 4 trophies we can win this season if we don't want to come out trophyless again. And basically, if we don't win this cup, where Man City are already knocked out, Manchester United have now been knocked out, Tottenham are out, leaving just really Liverpool, Chelsea-ish, anyone else? We have such a good chance of winning that trophy. And now we're knocked out. It means that we must now win, if we want a trophy this season, the FA Cup, which a lot of teams will take a lot more seriously, or the Prem or the Champions League. That's the other 3 that we can now win because we've screwed up this one. If we'd have won this one, we're through to the quarterfinals. And it's just I know it's not the biggest trophy, not the biggest prize money, but it's such a huge boost to the team winning that early on in the season. It gets you in the winner's mindset. And just look at how dejected we feel tonight. And imagine feeling the opposite of this, but 10 times happier. That would be if we won the League Cup. And we're not going to get that now. We're going to feel irrelevant and be watching other teams win that. And people are lying if they say that they wouldn't care whether we won it or not. It's so I've never seen us win this cup. I wasn't born. I would have loved to have seen that. I might have even been able to go to Wembley to watch Arsenal for the first time. But no, Arsenal are above this. Why are we above this? We haven't won it for 34 years. This is going to be a spicy stream. All cups matter, don't they? Yes, they sure do. Big up, Ravi. The starting lineup was good enough, but I didn't see the sharpness or desire. Yeah, it was slow-paced, kind of arrogant. These performances that we get in the less important cups where we think, it's okay, we're going to win, and we're not going to give it 110%. And it seems like in these cups, to beat Arsenal, you just have to give it 110% and be a bit physical. And especially with a team selection like that, then you're going to just spook us, really. It wasn't a good decision to broadcast this training game. You make such a good point. These players, they haven't, it was an experiment team where you're playing all of the second stringers. And I've said that these guys need minutes, but all at once. No, we've gone from never rotating enough to suddenly the whole team's rotated. When Havertz is looking like our best player, you know something's wrong. Yeah, he was good in the first half, but the second half he disappeared. Hey, Guna Gathering. I hope your watch along went well, guys. If you need to rewatch parts of that game, Guna Gathering, that's Posh Bertie and Lee. They will have such a good watch along. Hey Emerson, hey Fran, shocking performance. I saw Jorginho was struggling with a hamstring injury in the first. Should have made the change at halftime. Yeah, he stayed on way too long. He played well for the first bit, but we're going to go into Posh Bertie's the other half of Guna Gathering and said, so much for frightening squad depth, eh? But let me get into the the match review basically, and we'll do another chat catch-up time with the chat cat soon. But anyway, I just wanted to show you the this. So my sister Lottie, as you know, she supports Man United, and she just texted me at about 60 minutes, just going, "What are Arsenal doing, please?" And I went, "Nah, help," and then replied with, "What are Man United doing, please?" But we can't even enjoy the Man United result because Newcastle are beating them at the moment, and we're playing Newcastle on Saturday, and we're going to be down in the dumps, albeit with our players being mostly rested. At least Saliba's rested. But yeah, Guna Gathering disagrees with the fact that it's a second string team. White, Gabriel, Havertz, Nketiah. The whole midfield, really. I think for me that was the problem area. I guess Havertz was starting in midfield, but you had Jorginho on his own against men mountain of West Ham, 4 or 5 of them just running at Jorginho. He's completely on his own. And then we don't have our physical centre back, the biggest one, Saliba, which I'm actually okay with. And I thought Kiwior did okay. But the midfield against a hugely physical West Ham side was Vieira, Jorginho, Havertz, I suppose, Nelson. but these players should have been able to get the job done, and I need your help when we go into player ratings to work out like what happened there. I mean, to be fair, could be worse, friend. You could be a Man United fan. Yeah, but I feel pretty horrible right now. I mean, I can't even laugh at Man United. As Crispy says, every trophy matters. It's the League Cup. Really, don't worry about it. It's okay. Don't worry about being late, Phil. But what do you mean? Why not worry about it? We haven't won this trophy since I've been born. I've never seen us win this. I want to go to Wembley to watch Arsenal win a trophy. Now, if we want a trophy this season, as I was saying, we have to win the FA Cup, the Premier League, or the Champions League. This was our easiest chance to win silverware, and some of these guys, the guys that won the FA Cup, they're out the door now. It was Aubameyang, those guys. Was Willian there? I can't even remember. I can't remember the whole squad. But guys like Odegaard, Martinelli, basically all of Arteta's team have not won a trophy yet, and for team morale, you can't underestimate how massive it is, even if it's only the League Cup. Sorry, Phil, to go in on you, but I don't see it like that at all. So here we are. Welcome. 12 minutes in, and now we're only just getting started. But here's the Arsenal West Ham instant match reaction and player ratings. I can't thank you enough for joining me in this difficult time. I know so many channels do instant match reactions. This is my first one, and I'm quite glad because I probably wouldn't have been able to sleep if I hadn't come live. I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed. Okay, so right, we're going to do it. We're going to do the instant match reaction, then we're going to do player ratings. And the player ratings, boy, I've got a lot of notes. I still can't believe it. I'm in shock. But first, and this still does apply, okay? So you guys know I've been pretty harsh on Eddie this season, and he did, in fact, score a hat-trick at Sheffield United. I haven't seen you guys since the Sheffield match. It's been a hectic week at work. I'm the only... All of the people at my work are off, so it's just me and my sister doing all this gardening. So I haven't had a chance, so I'm sorry. But yeah, first an apology. You know, he wasn't hugely impactful today, but I'm so fed up of every season having to give Eddie Nketiah an apology. So from now on, you know what? You're not terrible. That's what I can say. However, you are inconsistent. You're really inconsistent. I want to see performance goals every 1 or 2, well, every 2 games, 3 games, you know. But, you know, I'm fed up of flip-flopping. Eddie, I rate you. You're a hail ender. I'm behind you. I'm sorry, okay? Great. I'm not really in the mood to say sorry now, though, but, you know, you guys, no one can come at me now for not backing Eddie. Hey, Newcastle 3-0, Joe Willock. Still not even happy. Mile High Hotspur, big up, nicest Spurs fan around. You're so cool. Hope you're okay. Bummer about the result. Lovely cat typing away. I know, it's a really cute cat. So Darren, hello, big up. There you go, another season of our lives ruined. This is a massive trophy, older than the Champions League with more history. Arteta couldn't manage a fart. This was bad today, but I don't think it takes away, at least for me, the amazing management for Man City, which was hugely tactical and in-depth. He matched Pep really well. It's just, I don't know why some games it's like, right, I'm going to put so much effort into this game, and then, oh, this one, it doesn't really matter. Just put on the players that haven't had many minutes. I think you should treat every game like a must-win. I mean, if anyone here has played sports, surely every game you ever went to, you tried your absolute best to win, whether it was a friendly, for me, like a friendly tennis match, like in the playground or something. That sounds like really posh. I didn't play tennis in my break times. But Eddie's in the room. How about get on the on the bloody pitch? Hi, Fran, by the way. Hi, Gil. Take you 5-0 win against Championship side and shove it up your Arsenal. Okay, that's what you think about the previous performances. I can't wipe away, for me at least, all the progress that I've seen this season. And overall, I still feel good about where we're going. But this has put a huge dent in it. And the reason I feel good, I'll just recap, is because I'm seeing I can't even say why I feel good. Right now, I just feel miserable. Maybe next stream I'll talk about why I still think we've got a good chance for the Prem. But right now, I'm not feeling like it. Sorry. Expected better. Arteta out saying, Darren, that's fair enough. But we can talk about that at another point. I do not agree. I do not. But always good to have different opinions. Right. Thank you for all the comments. I'm so behind. I'm feeling down to Anthony Herbert, but we'll get through all of it. And I put the disclaimer at the beginning, which means I can go in on certain players' performances, and hopefully they won't take it personally if they ever happen to watch this. So I might go in a bit hard on a couple of players. Sorry. So Phil saying, in all my 48 years watching footy, the League Cup has never truly mattered. We win Saturday and we move on and forget about tonight, Fran. Okay, I know what you're saying and that it doesn't matter so much that we've lost, but my take is that it would matter so much for this squad at this moment in our process if we won it. I think, okay, cool, we can survive like getting knocked out, whatever, but I just think it's such a huge loss to not get that positive moment with the squad as a whole. And I know it's not a big deal, like in the big scheme of things, but I'd love to go to Wembley and see them lift silverware. This squad could really use that for like their belief and morale. And for me, it's just a huge absence of something positive as opposed to like, oh, huge negative that we're out, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense? Doesn't matter what cup it is, you don't bottle football matches. We're supposed to accept that, really. You're right. I think every single level of match we need to have pride, you know, from our youth games and the like Women's Super League and Arsenal first, like the men's first team games. As a club, we have to have a better standard than that. It was really a very poor game, and we need to keep up this high reputation that we're building for ourselves, and things like this just give rival fans ammunition, give the press ammunition. We don't need it. It was the manner of the loss, I think, as well, that I'm so upset and annoyed about. 3-0. Yeah. What I saw, it felt like watching Undertones. I don't think I've seen you in my chat before, and that's an amazing comment to enter with. Hello. Mr. B, Hive Football Chat. Hey, Fran. Thought Eddie was starting to turn up. Now you got hammered by the Hammers. Yep, thanks, Mr. B. Thanks. We did get hammered by the Hammers. I'm fuming. So let's get into it. Stay tuned for my unfiltered instant reaction, which you've kind of heard a bit of already. Starting 11 thoughts. We'll go into what the lineup was. Overall game review, kind of look at the goals. Was anyone at fault? Yes. Spoiler. And player ratings. And also discuss whether we think this matters. And lots of Arsenal fans are going to say it doesn't matter. But every trophy matters. When I was 7 and won a gymnastics beam competition, it's that's such a terrible comparison. But that's the point. We've got to win things. So it really did feel like it. Yeah. We just got humbled by a team that lost at home to Everton. Yeah. And I'm so perplexed because, okay, we'll get into the starting lineup thoughts. So you heard my instant match reaction. To sum it up for those guys who've just joined, this cup matters. I'm really disappointed that we got knocked out. The performance wasn't good enough. The lineup, it should have been enough to win. It was just the performance, the game. It just wasn't good enough. It's on the players mainly tonight, but perhaps not entirely on them, because that group of players just hasn't played together basically all season, maybe minus some of them against Brentford in the last Carabao Cup game. It was just putting lots of players that haven't had time together on a pitch and then expecting there to be chemistry, and there just wasn't. And quite a few lackluster. I don't think anyone was like absolutely shocking, but I think a good deal of the starting lineup had lackluster performances, and that all added up when you're against a team that's giving 120% every single one of their players. It makes for a huge gap in the overall game. So that's kind of where I think it went wrong. But yeah. Right, starting 11 thoughts. I'll give you my honest thoughts when I saw the starting 11. So obviously I wasn't live. I was happy to see Ramsdale in goal. White, I kind of didn't want him to start, because you guys know that I was saying that if White gets injured, then we're kind of screwed. So I'd like to see him get rested soon, but I thought fair enough, like play him today, but you don't want him getting injured, whatever, play White, cool. Kiwior, fine to see him. He's played well recently. and Gabriel, obviously with Kiwior as 2 centre-backs, that should be pretty good. Zinchenko, this is kind of where it got a little bit dicey for me. So Zinchenko, Jorginho, Havertz and Vieira, those 4 are not what I really think of as like big, defensive, solid, like strong guys. That sounds really harsh, but we know that West Ham are like strong, explosive, going to try and hit us on the break. Like they got Jared Bowen, Kudus, he was so good tonight. And to me, I think that's just a little bit weak. So Zinchenko, Jorginho, Havertz and Vieira, I saw that and thought, ooh. Mark says, can you do a podcast while on the beam, Fred? I haven't done gymnastics for years, so probably absolutely not. So for me, that's kind of a problem area because I have doubts about Zinchenko's defending, especially when someone's coming at him quick on the break. Jorginho against like these huge midfielders with pace. We know he's not the paciest guy, and he had an okay first half. We will do ratings, but Havertz again in the left 8, which hasn't been super effective yet, but I'm happy to see him playing there. But is it the right game with everyone else around him? And Vieira, again, not the most physical, massive guy. I was super happy, though, to see Nelson and Trossard and Nketiah. But it was just the midfield I was a little bit nervous about. But apart from that, really happy. And we had a really strong bench. So that was my take. Well, let me know what you guys thought of the starting lineup. So Crispy making a great point, saying we must beat Newcastle, otherwise we rotated for nothing. Guys, let me know what you thought of the starting lineup. Ransom Pumpkin saying, it is what it is, we move. If we beat Newcastle, we will forget about today really quickly. We will, but I don't want to disrespect the cup like that. Like, this game to me matters. I don't want to just, let me have tonight to woe the loss of this trophy. Okay, I don't want to brush it under the rug just yet. I'm upset. Tomorrow, I may not be so upset, but I do think this was a really good chance for a trophy. And it was a bad performance. If we'd gone out and still played a really good game, I'd be fine with it. But I'm fed up of seeing these performances in cups again and again. It would be so nice to win a cup. But I totally get it. Like, I'm not right. Like, you're right. Like, there's no right or wrong. It's just how I feel. And I know some of you guys like are not bothered at all, and you're totally within in your rights to feel that way about the cup. Just I'm bummed out by it. But let that be said, I still support the team and the manager. I think Eddie's played great, and I think we're actually progressing from last season because for a few reasons. I might do a whole stream about why I do think we're heading in the direction for the Premier League title. I do seriously see those signs in the ways that Mikel is adjusting, the way that we're playing and how we're more defensively focused, calmer on the ball, more patient, more composed. I do think we're heading in the right direction. But in isolation, we could still have a bad game. And it's a real shame. It's a real shame. So, right, the substitutions. Oh, I think I didn't do the bottom one. So 56th minute, Zinny went off for Tommy, which I was actually happy, 56th minute. I was shocked, though, that there were no changes at half-time because we were playing so badly. Jorginho was off for Reiss. I think those changes could have happened at half-time, but I do understand wanting to conserve Tommy and Reiss for Newcastle. And as Crispy says, we must win now against Newcastle or else this heartbreak was for nothing. So, yeah. 60. If anyone knows, did Newcastle play a strong starting 11? Because hopefully we might have one up against them, but our mentality will be hit. We'll be miserable for a day or so, and then we've got to pick ourselves up, which is just never fun. 65th minute, Trossard off for Martinelli. Trossard was quiet in the second half, and Nelson off for Saka. So, thank you, Gooner Gathering, for sharing on the community page. As always, I really appreciate that. And as I said, everyone subscribe to Gooner Gathering if you haven't already. Those guys are great. So those are the substitutions. We've done a bit of chat catch up. Let's get into the player ratings. I've got no tactics, no stats for you today. If you've got any interesting stats, then let me know. I just kind of want to get into the player ratings. So I've got a lot of notes. And hopefully through doing these player ratings, we can kind of work out what went wrong and maybe learn what could be changed in the future and just kind of have a bit of therapy I never want to be too harsh, so do check me like if I'm just being mean for no reason. But I like doing player ratings because you get to notice each player exactly what they're doing. It helps you like understand the game, I think. No, oh my gosh, Newcastle rotated. Or they were playing, Guna Gargamel says they were playing a strong lineup against United, and Crispy was saying they rotated. Shut up. Mark saying, good news is Newcastle playing 45 minutes later than us, so we should be fresher, lol. 45 minutes fresher? Come on. Gargamel saying we should play our best team. The turnover is pretty, because it's Wednesday and Saturday. Yeah, it's hard. ESR is also out for weeks, which I haven't even spoken about. That's just terrible. Just as he was starting to get into form, and suddenly he's out for weeks, and suddenly this scary squad depth, as Poshbet was saying, is not looking quite so scary. So anyway, let's get into it. Hey Fran, Arteta out, pathetic. You never mince your words, Static, and I'm here for it. Let me know why. 20 likes. Thank you guys. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much. The aim is 45 likes, as always. We achieved it once. Maybe we can achieve it today, but who knows? Who cares? Anyway, right. Player ratings. Rambo, Aaron Ramsdale. See, I really don't like that. How have we quickly gone to Arteta out? I mean, to be fair to these guys, they've been pretty consistently against the manager. The ones that I've read that out. I haven't seen anyone who's been like chill and then tonight is gone because of that I started her out. No, these guys have been pretty consistently against him, and I was like on the fence, and then after last season I was like, oh okay, like I see what he's doing now, and I'm behind him now. I am, and I think we're going in the right direction this season, but we can talk about that another time. I really like him, but yeah. I didn't like that game. It's like, I always give restaurant analogies. I can really love a restaurant, okay, and I can love their chicken korma. But one time I can go to that restaurant and the chef does a terrible job. The korma's disgusting and I hate it that night. And I'm going to leave and say, oh, I hated that korma. That was horrible, terrible meal. But I'll still go home and say, like, yeah, that's my favorite restaurant. Like, I'll go there every time, you know? I'm still a loyal customer, but that korma was disgusting. That match was disgusting. Okay? Oh, you guys, I'll tear out. Well, Fran, you know exactly why. Another trophy throwaway. When is this damn Arsenal fan base going to wake up and demand trophies? I've been demanding trophies. You need to go back to listen to the beginning of the stream. I'm gutted about this because this, for me, was the easiest chance for us to win a trophy. Now, if we want to win a trophy, we have to win the FA Cup, the Premier League, or the Champions League. It's not good enough, and it's really hard for me to process at the moment, like, because I like the manager, and I wanted rotation, but it was such a bad performance, and I can't work out, is it because of the lineup static? Is it because of how the players performed? Was it late substitutions? Was it just West Ham being more physical and trying harder? I just don't know. I need answers. I need answers. I demand answers, Arteta. Right, so let's get into player ratings. Well, I haven't really written much down for Ramsdale, apart from, I don't know what other people think, but I didn't think he was hugely at fault for any of the 3 goals. So the first goal, basically West Ham's best attacker, Ben White, scores a brilliant header from the corner, right, into the back of the net. Great header, except, of course, it's an own goal and it's the wrong end of the pitch. If he did that at the other end of the pitch, I'd be very happy. But anyway, not much Ramsdale can really do there unless he tells White to leave it and calls for it, which maybe he didn't do. But that was a shocking goal. I mean, but it's kind of on Benny, not really Ramsdale. If I'm in goal and that happens, I'm annoyed at my defender. Like, there's not much I could have done. I'd be like, mate, what was that? Like, what am I supposed to do? So, for me, this is such a bad game for Ramsdale because it makes it look like he was really terrible and stuff when he's not. And I don't think the goals were particularly on him. Oh, hey, Jordan. saying, hey, beautiful, you're too kind. This game pissed me off. We have no realistic chance at winning the league or UCL, so why do we win this competition? Shocking mentality. I totally see where you're coming from there, and I think now the pressure is on to try and win the FA Cup or the league or UCL now, because I don't want another trophyless season. No, sir. No. Ramsdale, yes, you're right. I forgot about that. The first goal as well. Ramsdale was clearly fouled. He was like smacked into the back post, I think. Was that goal? And with no VAR, it was just missed by the ref. So it was just kind of a comedy of errors. Really bad first goal. But then, okay, we go a goal down. It's annoying, but it's early on in the match. And there's plenty of time to come back from that and see a response. And I saw a response for about a minute, and then it was back to kind of chaos. I had to wait 12 years to see us win the league in 89, so be a little patient. Yeah, right, guys. Listen to Phil if you're... I'm impatient as a person, though, Phil. I'm sorry. I'm impatient. 12 years is a long time. I mean, are you justifying that? Like, for me, I just think time flies and people, like, move on and, like, you know... people aren't here forever, and I don't want these huge gaps because people might miss it, you know. It's an emotional thing. So Static saying, Fran, facts, it's like food, lol. I've literally had it shoved down my throat, all of this. Give Arteta time, give Arteta another year. Excuses, I want trophies now, no more waiting. And that's great. That's great. I mean, yeah. However, I do also think that Arteta... I can't even say that. I was going to say that Arteta does want trophies, but with that lineup and performance tonight, I'm like, did you really want this trophy? I don't know. So as you guys are saying, first goal was a foul on Rambo. Yeah, Gil, I totally agree about the arrogance thing. You're still in shock. I'm still in shock. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Jordan saying, oh, hell no. I don't want to wait 12 years. Me neither, man. I'll be like 40 by that time. No. So Ramsdale, second goal, it was bad defending. So long ball, Kudus brings it down and he beats Zinny, and then Gabriel just stands in like frozen and it goes through his leg. So Kudus takes it really well for the second goal, but then Zinchenko has like slow turning speed, or Kudus is just lightning quick. So with Kudus' first touch, he completely takes Zinchenko out of the game, and then Gabriel, rather than kind of reacting quick and coming to him, just like stops and blocks, and it goes through his legs, unfortunately. And then, I mean, could Ramsdale have done better in that goal for the second goal? Let me know what you think. So the second goal, yeah, Guna Gathering, I agree. I still think we can win the league. I just, two things, I still think like it's terrible for us to throw away the cup and we played really badly, but I still also think that we can win the league. Like both things can still be true. It's just a real shame. It's a real shame. So perhaps he could have done better for the Kudus goal, but in fact, it was a really good goal. And third goal, it was unlucky for Kiwior and Ramsdale. The shot from Bowen was reflected off Kiwior. For me, it's kind of more like wise Bowen given the time to take a shot from like the 18-yard box. It's kind of not really Kiwior's fault that it takes a deflection off, and then Ramsdale's put off balance. So for me, the goals were not really on Ramsdale. Like they weren't Ramsdale howlers for me. So for me, but like he wasn't fantastic. I did see that he was trying to play out from the back a bit like Raya does, but then, I mean, I kind of agree with this. He was getting like flustered and doing long balls, whereas Raya like holds on for too long, and we get like the moments against City and Alvarez. And okay, but so Ramsdale was hoofing it long, but Arteta probably won't like that because he wants them to keep playing this slow thing at the back, like draw the other team onto them. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. So for me, Ramsdale gets a 5. So nothing fantastic and nothing like horrible, I don't think. So just an average game for him. He did fine. He did do fine, but yeah, not good for his like reputation, I suppose. But I don't think there was much he could have done. And it's not like they really peppered our goal. It was kind of like the 3 clear-cut chances. To me, it seemed like just went in because they were just those sort of goals, if you know what I mean. Oh no! Sorry, friend, I have to go. Otherwise, I'll say something I might regret. Have a great show, okay? You can say, you don't have to go. Like you can have your opinion made. Like I love like hearing all ends of the spectrum from like Phil all the way to over to Static. Like all of you guys, I love it. Like don't worry. And if you, it's fine. But thank you so much for your support and for reminding everyone to hit the likes. So in honor of our friend Static, who is departing so soon, everyone please do hit the likes if you haven't already, but I trust that you guys have. So anyway, I give Ramsdale a 5. Mark gives Ramsdale a 4.8965. Yeah, bit harsh really, to be fair, Mark, but I'll take it. So next, Benjamin White, West Ham's best attacker today. Okay, what notes have I got for White? So I wrote that I would have liked to have seen him rested, perhaps because we're looking a little thin on the right-hand side. If White's injured from being overplayed in all these 3 games a week, then is it Cedric or is it Tommy, or is he playing like first choice left back? I don't know. Either way, whatever he played, he's a really good defender, and he actually had an okay game. Apart from early on, he played this sloppy ball to Vieira. I don't know if you guys remember. So he was up on the right wing and he looked up, passed the ball to Vieira, who was about 3 yards offside, and it just like trickled off the byline, the back line, whatever it's called, which was sloppy. And then, of course, own goal scored 15 minutes in. My notes say, honestly, he looked like a West Ham player. And he kind of made up for it later on in the game by saving it off the line. When I can't remember exactly what happened, but I know that Ben White later on saved it off the line. And to be fair, like I don't want to even go in too hard on him because it was a mistake and it was 15 minutes in. There was plenty of time for us to turn the game around and we just didn't. It just kind of got worse and worse. So yeah. Pete Ping Pong. I'm not sure how to say your name. Sorry, not good enough. Arteta out. Another Arteta outer. Guys, no, I'm not. No, I don't. I do understand why you think of that, but I totally disagree. Hey, Wayne, I don't think I've seen you. Welcome. Saying should give White a 3, 2 for his bleached hair, and I'm a neutral. No, I like his hair. Wayne, no. Player ratings, raw football ability, not hairstyles. So, guys, what are we giving Ben White? Guna Gargamel saying 2. Jordan saying Ramsdale gets a 3. Phil saying Rami really had to play like a god to even get a sniff of a first-team return in the league. Yeah, it's rough for Ramsdale at the moment. Okay, you can stay and just bite your tongue, lol. I'll get you on a live stream soon and we can do like a proper Arteta discussion. That'll be fun. Okay, but there are quite a few people that also think Arteta is not the man. So, you know, you're welcome here. You're welcome here. Jordan said Zinchenko is a major problem. He isn't even as good as he was last season in attack, which is making his crap defending much less tolerable. Really good point. Really good point. He is certainly not as effective going forwards. And I kind of wonder whether that's to do with the shake-up in midfield and the left 8 kind of conundrum that we've got. Because he used to link up so well with Xhaka and also Partey. So he's... yeah, he isn't as good going forward, but he is always pretty good going forward. So Rancid Pumpkin kicking off at Static. Guys, be nice to everyone. Be nice to everyone. Yeah, whatever. Right, so Ben White for me a 5. He's gonna get a 5 because horrible own goal, but then that shouldn't have written off the match for us. And he played all right the rest of it and even saved a goal off the line. So he's evened himself out. And for me, Ben White gets 5. So Jordan saying, anyone saying Arteta out needs to relax. I completely agree. This is one horrible game. And this game was horrible, yeah. And the manager did not do well. The players did not do well. But I don't think we can have that short-term memory for anyone who's saying, like, right, because of today, that's it. Whereas I know some people have been more consistent and saying that they don't think Arteta's the guy for a while. And I respect that, you know, stick with your guns. So you, Arsenal, just don't look nothing like you did last season. Yeah. Who do you support, Wayne? We really don't. And I think that's deliberate, though. I think last season we were super, like, frenetic, unpredictable, playing at 150% tempo all the time, and the train just fell off the wheels. Is that a what's the word? Is that the expression? Anyway, but we couldn't keep up, and it was too erratic and too impulsive. Super exciting to watch. Yeah, I loved it as a fan. But I think this season Arteta's trying to find more of a calmer, like, controlled way of playing. So our defenders sit a bit further back. We pass a bit, like, more. It's all a bit more conservative and calm. And it actually worked against Man City. I mean, we played that style and we beat them for the first time. So I do think that I trust him, you know, and it's just results like this really don't help. But I do think we're going in the right direction, and I feel a bit more confident going into games because of this kind of control aspect. However, I'm not feeling very confident today. I'm not going to lie, but it hasn't made me, like, flip my script on the whole season. But, you know. So, right, big Gabriel, I love him. I think he got the armband for a bit today. However, I'm kind of struggling to know what to make of his game. So if you guys could help me. So my notes for him. Ball through his legs for goal 2. Other than that, he's been solid. Yeah, so he definitely was at fault along with Zinny for the second goal. But, which, you know, that's 2 goals now. He should have done better for that goal, and he'll be beating himself up more than anyone. However, you know, the rest of the game he was okay. He's a really consistent player for us. When was the last time he did, like, a stupid, like, rash tackle? He doesn't do that anymore. He's, like, really matured as a player. However, it was just a bit of a switched off moment there for both Zinny and Gabriel. So what do you guys think? Hey, 25 likes. Thank you, guys. Led train off the tracks. Who knows? I don't know. Fran, I will always respect everyone's opinions, but I will not sit back and watch our football club continue to be rotten to the core. I refuse to relax. That's totally fair. Yeah. You don't have to relax. I've got you. It's okay. I'm a Leicester fan. Met you on one of Sava's streams a while ago. Yes, I remember. I think if it was one of the charity, like, big panel streams. Yeah, but thank you very much for saying hello. Welcome to the channel. You just had to come here today, didn't you? Every other stream, we've been really happy. So yeah, big up to you all. Thank you so much for, yeah, Static. We'll talk about that video in a bit. I uploaded it, and the next morning I was like, why did I panic about that? But anyway, so big Gabi, for me, a 5. A 5. Does anyone have any other... Yeah, Goonie Gathering saying Gabriel 5, not helped by Zinc. Yeah, so far, I mean, Ramsdale, White, and Gabriel have all got a 5, and we're wondering why we lost the game. Hey, Loki, big up. I see you everywhere. Come to give you a like. Bless you. Be like Loki, everyone. That's so kind. I do that as well. Like, sometimes I can't even watch a stream. I just jump in on them, like, and then, like, go on my way, and jump in another one, like, and then go on my way. So the hustle is real. Thank you very much, Loki. Back to ratings. So Gabriel for me gets 5. Right, Kiwior. Despite this horrible performance, I'm actually really enjoying watching Kiwior play at the moment. Obviously, he's not as solid as Saliba, but I think he's really, when the ball goes to Kiwior's feet, I'm never panicking, thinking, like, is he going to control it? He's got a sublime first touch. So whenever it comes through to him, he controls it straight away, which is something I've noticed, and it makes me feel really comfortable when he has it. And he's good at passing. I don't think, obviously, he's as physical as Saliba, but he's doing a good job for me. Let me know what you guys think. In this game, I don't actually have many notes for him, other than he was playing right centre-back alongside Gabriel. He's confident on the ball. I said, we seem to be trying to draw teams into us. Okay, interesting note. A bit like we do with Raya, and I'm not sure how well it's working, but whatever. Unlucky deflection for the third goal. He's done well, great first touch. So Yeah, he didn't really have any stinky moments, did he? Like, so you're saying a 6, a 5. Guna Gathering says you can't really fault him. I've been like pleasantly impressed. Give him a standard 5. Wayne saying seem to be missing Granite a lot. I can't even believe we're saying that, but you're so right. Trying to play safe instead of doing what Arsenal are good at, quick tempo football. I know the tempo is so down on last season. So I think like structurally we've been good, but just like the intensity has not been there. I think we've been trying to play like sublime Man City where they're almost boring to watch when that's taking away like a huge amount of the excitement going forward. It's really weird, but I kind of see where we're going, and we're undefeated in the Prem. You know, it's a long game, and I'm kind of cool to see that we're growing into it as opposed to like blowing all our beans in the first few months again. So I'm like quietly hopeful for the rest of the season. I'm quite like long-sighted about it, but I mean at the moment it's hard. Like we're getting injuries. ESR's now injured. Gabriel Partey's injured. Like it's not fun, even though we're undefeated. But it's really cool to hear your point of view, though, opposition fans. So go for it. All right. Anyway, so Kiwior, I'm going to give him a 6, highest rating so far. Hugo saying, hi, Fran, missed today's game, but by the sounds of it, I got lucky. It was ugly. If you want to see a really good header by Ben White, though, then go to the 15th minute. It's quality. So, yeah. Right. Zinchenko. He's on for the first half, gets taken off quickly in this, like pretty quickly in the half. Poor for the second goal. Again, that one which Kudus did really well. He controlled it and just took Zinny right out of the game. Zinny was not like super agile on his feet. He just got like spun basically. And he looked slow versus Kudus and didn't challenge the ball that was in the air. So that was a pretty bad moment from him. I thought he should have done better. But again, it's kind of, we know that Zinchenko's by trade not like defensively minded, like he's not a defender who knows exactly what to do in these situations one-on-one in the box. He's more of an attacking minded player, so I don't fully blame him for it, but it wasn't good. So Zinnia 4, Zink gets a 1. Loki, I agree. You got to go back. It's not it. Wayne says it's like instead of trying to win, playing not to lose. It's no risk football. Just my opinion as a neutral. And I'm actually like okay with it because we were conceding so many sloppy goals and stuff last season. And it is giving us results, and I'm okay with it not necessarily being as exciting. I think it can do us well in the long term over the whole season, you know, marathon, not a sprint type thing. So interesting from your point of view. Our starting midfield was indeed shocking. So Zinny doesn't make smooth passes, looks like he's wearing clogs. Yeah, he's just not like a fullback, in my opinion. George saying he kept stalling with the ball, which affected our tempo and allowed teams to get back in shape. He doesn't break the lines anymore. Yeah, he definitely didn't today. I've seen it a bit more in the Prem. But you barely ever see him like running with the ball and stuff. He has definitely, as Wayne said, kind of got worse since last season because he's like a whole different set of players around him. Maybe. So not his best today. 4.5 for me. Slightly under average. So yeah, not the best. Not the best. Anyway, thank you guys. Please get involved in the comments and let me know what you thought of Jorginho. So yeah, as Loki says, the midfield that we started with was pretty shocking, and I think that's definitely what I saw on the team sheet and thought like, oh my god, like against a physical West Ham team, I thought it doesn't look good, but hopefully this team can kind of, you know, this whole team, like they all had a case to really put in a good performance to be hopefully selected more often in the first team. So it's kind of like an audition for all of these players who would like more minutes. And I don't think anyone particularly stood out. So in terms of Jorginho, what notes have we got? I've got that he was basically the single connection, the single pivot between defence and forwards. Some good passes through to Eddie right in the first half. He did well stopping a break at one point, but he got beaten and bodied straight away in the second half. It was a bit of a mixed bag for me, Jorginho. I think he's doing okay in this position, but he just seemed to be completely on his own in this game in particular, because I didn't think Vieira and Havertz were coming back too much to help out, like in the midfield and defensively. It seemed like it was just Jorginho and then like a front five, kind of miles up the pitch. And so it just meant when they broke, he was just completely on his own basically. And he's nowhere near as good as Reiss in that six. Like, you do really notice that. But I mean, he's good at, I don't know, he didn't really stand out, but he didn't really play shocking for me. So a 5, as Guna Gathering says, meh. Yeah. And so far we've done 5, 5, 5, 4.565. And if we're looking for a reason why we lost this game, like, look how average all these performances are from the players. Loki saying they all failed the audition pathetically. Yeah, no callbacks for them. No second audition tapes. No. Out you go. Not good. Yeah. Oh, Havertz. Havertz. I don't know. Is this ever going to happen? Is it going to happen? I'm hearing all the same things from the commentators that I heard when he played at Chelsea. And when he was at Chelsea, it was always the case of like, it will come. Maybe if we just shift him to this position, it will come. So it really makes me doubt whether it will in fact come. However, I know that Arteta has seen things in players that we haven't seen. Odegaard, look what he did with him. Look what he did with Xhaka. Look what he did with Tommy. Look what he's done with Ben White, even bringing in Ramsdale. He sees things in players that we don't. And this one, I don't see it. I really don't see it. Like, I'm blind. I don't know what he sees. However, in games, I'm still seeing, wow. Phil said, quote from Arteta post-match, it's the League Cup, so it doesn't matter. Now let's do Newcastle. That's shameful. That's shameful. I wonder what Pep would think about that. It was, if we got into that, it was only 3 more games. You're talking about it doesn't matter, but if we won this game, then it was quarterfinal, semi-final, final, and we've got a huge boost going into kind of the second half of the season. It's the League Cup, so it doesn't matter. Arteta, you know what? If he won it, he would have been saying, this is one of the oldest cups in England. I'm so proud of our boys to win it. This cup matters. I don't know why I turned into Jurgen Klopp there, but you can't be saying that. I think it's okay. I know he's just trying to like make sure we don't all have a hissy fit. But it's okay to say I'm disappointed about that. I'd rather that than that kind of blatant disrespect, if you know what I mean. So, right, Havertz. Anyway, so I've given up getting annoyed about Kai. I just don't care anymore. I care. I know you care, Phil. I care because of how off the team looks. Like, our midfield is just, it's really, really fluid, but in a pretty bad way. Last season, it was fluid in a good way. Like a beautiful, like, running river. This season, it's like a spring puddle filled with mud and pebbles and snakes, and that doesn't even make sense. I'm losing my mind here. But Havertz, the midfield, it's really not good. I think we've got too many players that are kind of passenger players, if you know what I mean. So this might be harsh, but Fabio, Havertz, Jorginho, who else is in midfield? Maybe Zinchenko. They all just had a pretty bad game, and whenever Havertz is in midfield, I just don't see it. But I have got a few notes about him, so please let me know. Let me know. So Havertz. However, I do want to caveat that he was so good at Leverkusen, right? And how many times I can say this? And I see hints of it. I see little whispers of it on the pitch. But he just disappeared the whole second half. The first half, he was really good. And if Arteta can get a tune out of him, I mean, it's good that he's playing these games and playing against Sheffield, but it's still not coming. And give it time. all of that, all of that. I caveat with that, and I really want him to succeed. And if Arteta sees it, then whatever. I trust you, Arteta, but it's really bad. So my notes for Havertz are: he started at left 8, did a couple of good bits of link up with Vieira. They look so similar. Really insightful notes. So from afar, they've got like similar hairdo, like they're in the same sort of position. I kept getting them mixed up anyway. Good defensive play, physical use of the body at points. He did have a shot which was saved by their goalie in the 8th minute. Great little header. However, the game just went downhill for him. He moved to striker. He was not as good. This is what we've been calling for. I thought he actually played better in the left 8, which is saying something because he barely did anything there. As we got into the second half, he was starting like to get trampoline first touches, pulled out of chances to strike. So there was one point where he was in the box, like the ball comes over the top to him, and he just, like his first touch, he just kicked it off the back line. So it's just really, really ropey. So yeah, Wayne Holland said, if the manager has said that it's awful, the aim of elite sport is to win trophies. Yes, thank you, Wayne. We agree. Static agrees. I agree. I'm really annoyed about tonight. Don't let my smiling face confuse you. Loki, tell us how you really feel. Havertz is a piece of furniture put in the right. Havertz is a piece of furniture put in the right place, which makes the room look bad. What? Do you mean the wrong place? Like, bro. 26 likes. Yes. Come on, guys. Keep it going. Keep it going. And also click share and then copy the link, but don't actually share. Apparently the algorithm likes that. And well, we need every help we can get, really. So Phil said, I found in life it's better to let the stress go, but I can be so laid back I almost fall over, but at least I'm happy. That's actually a really good life lesson, Phil. It is a really good life lesson. And I aspire to be more like that. But when it comes to football, I'm not. I'm sorry. So, yeah, Jordan again talking about the cups. So the problem with throwing away these cups is it builds a lot of pressure on the manager and team to win the bigger trophies. Yes, being in many competitions builds confidence and momentum. I completely agree. I completely agree. I couldn't have said it better myself, Jordan. And I think it's ridiculous when people say this cup doesn't matter, or if Arteta says this cup doesn't matter. It matters, okay? So Havertz. I mean, I've been on the Havertz rants. As Phil said, I'm kind of just bored of it now. Oh, guys, what are we giving Havertz? First half, he was about a 6 or 7. Second half, he just completely disappeared. I'm surprised he was still on the pitch. He ended up just really ghosting. So 4.5 for me. Slightly below average. I thought I just typed it, apparently I didn't. So slightly below average. I mean, so yeah. Fran, at least your smile is cheering me up. But we as Arsenal fans are very upset about this, of course. Yes, we are. And we have a right to be upset. I don't like people saying, like, fans, you're not allowed to be angry about this result. You know, like, supporting a football team's a roller coaster. The good, the bad, the ugly. Like, we're not emotionless robots. It doesn't mean we don't love our club. It doesn't mean we're gonna just ditch the team for someone else. It just means we care and we enjoy it. And I like to get into why this happened. And I love this stuff. So thank you for joining me here tonight. Even though it's a horrible evening, I'm so annoyed. God. Right, anyway, Kai Havertz, 4.5 for me. Loki said 3 for turning up. Losing a League Cup game has never put pressure on an Arsenal manager. I don't know. I can see why it would. For me, it means that, like, now we do have to get a result elsewhere when this was definitely our easiest chance of winning silverware. So, right. Cool. Havertz got... Fabio, the old Prison Break reference, Teabag from Prison Break, Fabio, they look so similar, it cracks me up. And Fabio himself, I think, responded to one of the teammates calling him Teabag. So put a thumbs up in the chat if you've watched Prison Break. I love that show. So yeah, anyway, let's not get distracted. I don't have many notes about Fabio other than he was pretty good. I think him and Kiwior were quite good. I'll probably give him the same as Kiwior, which is about a 6. So he did okay. He was quite good, is what I've written. He's tried. I thought he did a few really good runs with the ball kind of across the middle of the pitch, and he didn't like let us down in any huge ways. I thought he was perfectly good enough. So for me, a 6. A 6 up there with Kiwior as two of the better performers of the day for me. Let me know if you have any other opinions, but that's it for me. Wayne saying, oh, teabag. Phil, you've never seen Prison Break? You've got to watch that. It's so addictive. Like, if you want something to do, watch Prison Break. It's so good. I would watch it all again tomorrow. I love it. Phil said, I assume both photos were Fabio. No way. A point per weight in stone 5. That's so savage. That being said, we do need to congratulate him for having a child. Have they had the child? Well done, Fabio. He doesn't look old enough to have had a kid if he didn't have the beard, you know? So, Jordan, what do you reckon? I'm enjoying your opinions, Jordan. You're pretty good at like watching in detail. So, Fabio Vieira is a little too hasty, needs more controlled and measured movement on the ball. You're right. I think it might be a kind of like eagerness to prove himself kind of thing. If he just maybe slows it down, but then I don't really want him to slow it down. Like, our whole team is so slow at the moment. Guna Gathering said, Fabio, was he playing? He had a few good moments. Like, if you like, we know he's good though. Like, I suppose he was kind of just like average. He wasn't outstanding. No one was outstanding. No one was better than a 5 or a 6 for me. And I think when all of West Ham are playing 9s out of 10s, 8 out of 10s, giving it their absolute all, that's why we lost. It was just a gulf in effort and performances, individual performances. And it was a 3-0 gulf. And how many shots did we actually have on target? It wasn't really the defensive mistakes for me, but attacking going forward, there was nothing. Which I found like even more shocking. So congrats, Fabio, on your newborn. Another Gunner baby. Hooray. Hooray indeed. I never watched telly apart from Gray and Norton's show. That is niche, Phil, but okay. If her had a child, I'll give him a 10. Yes. Right, anyway, moving on. Nelson. Right, Nelson will probably get my highest rating of the day, although he did kind of tail off in the second half, but he was playing where we've been shouting for him to play, which was directly replacing Saka on the right wing. And what I've written is he had good quick dribble along the byline right at the beginning, great speed. He defended an early break well, so he really got back as well to defend those like breaks from those guys. I was so happy to see him just tearing up the pitch. He had pace, he had power, and it just makes me wonder why he hasn't been playing more. We've all been wanting to see him more. And we know that Saka isn't invincible, although maybe he could be by the end of the season, eh? But anyway, it was really nice to see him running with the ball, just tearing up the pitch, something that I've actually commented on that has been missing from our first team. We've just barely been carrying the ball forwards. It's all been passing and incrementally making our way up very slowly. And it was really refreshing to see him just sprinting with the ball at his feet. And West Ham, actually, their players did pretty well to stop him at one point when he ran like 80 yards up the pitch. It was awesome to see. So I was thinking also, if he was a new signing, guys, wouldn't everyone be so impressed and happy? That's how good I thought his performance was. Imagine if he was a new signing, you'd be like, damn, this guy's really exciting. I want to see him play more. And I do. I thought he had a really good performance. Oh, see you later, Static. Thank you so much for your help. And as Static says, 27 likes. Hit the likes. Try and get to 45. Fran, I look forward to your Bergkamp art video soon. Thank you, Static. I will. His next comment was cracked me up. Yes. Now I'm doing 2 like long live streams a week and then some art videos in between. So I'm really looking forward to that. Static says my ratings for everyone 0. Mic dropped. Static, I love that guy. He's savage. He's savage, and I love it. But he's fair, and he's got a point of view, and he sticks with it, and I love that. Not flip flop. No way. You can't call Static a flip flop. Anyway, I'm waffling. So Nelson, I was really impressed with him. He's going to get my highest rating actually, which is a 7. Nelson 7 at Aguna Gathering, you agreed too. You love Graham. We used to be neighbours. That is a cool fact. So yeah, Jordan also saying Reiss was good. He tries hard, and I can't fault that. He gets a 7 for me. Needs a little more work, but loved his aggression and spirit. Couldn't have said it better. You're taking the words right out of my mouth. I was really impressed, and he did fade a little bit in the second half, but the second half was just a shambles. Everyone kind of got worse until the subs came on, and by then it was too late. So whatever Arteta said at halftime did not work. Right, Leandro Trossard. You guys know, one of my favourite players. I've spoken to his wife and designed a hoodie for her with him doing the celebration. So I'm totally biased. I think I just love him. It's my only claim to fame ever. So I love the guy. And it's really hard for me to criticize him, but I just think my notes were that found Havertz, and his first touch, he kicked it. Oh, right. So he did that good ball to Havertz, which then Havertz just kicked it off the back line. He didn't get much of the ball, kept getting forced backwards by Soufal. So I think basically he was nullified by their players on the right. He constantly needed to be running back to help Zinchenko with players like Kudus and Soufal. And you guys are making a really good point saying, does Trossy ever play well when he starts? And that he's always better off the bench. That's certainly what's happening at the moment, but I haven't really seen it from him on the wing. I'd really like to see him in the Havertz role or the Odegaard's role. Odegaard's? I really want to see him in the Havertz role because I think he'd be perfect in that position. He's got such a great defensive work rate, and he's so good at providing assists and things going forward. I just think it's a bit unfair for him starting on the left wing, but then he does have to do more when he's given these starts. But then again, it was really hard because he was kind of drowned out and didn't have anyone around him to really help him. That whole left-hand side of the pitch is looking really weak at the moment. Even when Martinelli came on, he barely got the ball. And, the only thing I can think of is that Xhaka is no longer in the left 8. And suddenly that side of the pitch has collapsed, really. So I love the guy, but average for me, which is a 5. I love you, Trossard, but you got to do better when you start. Loki saying Tross was Dross. 3 for me. You're a poet. I wonder after last season if you expect to play more this season, so he's out of sorts. Firstly, I would say if he's out of sorts, then you're a professional, you're getting paid a lot of money, you shouldn't let that get to you. But he was certainly saying early on in the season that he didn't come here to be a bench player. And I think he's better than being a bench player. So I actually totally get it. He started all the time for Brighton, was fantastic. I really feel for him. I wonder if he was missold the opportunity. I would love to see him starting every game. So Jordan saying gets a 4. Phil saying we miss Xhaka because Partey's always injured. The injuries are a whole other discussion. But anyway, Trossard didn't play well enough. Eddie, my guy, I rate you. You just got another apology from me, 2nd year in a row. So understand you're a good player. Okay, but where's the consistency, Eddie? Right, what did Eddie really do? I was actually impressed. I wrote that. So sometimes I've criticised Eddie for just sitting back behind the defenders and kind of waiting for the ball to come to him. But this game in particular, he was running towards the person with the ball and shouting for the ball at his feet, which is something I've been asking for him to do all season. I really loved that. It was really exciting to see. And he was getting the ball more as a result of it. Just we didn't really create any clear-cut chances. So he had a pretty poor second half and was subbed off for Odegaard in the 80th minute. 5.5 for me. Ooh, is that a discussion people are ready to have, Loki? No proper left side without Kieran Tierney. Zin lets us down. Yeah. If it does make you feel any better, though, Kieran Tierney is again injured, which is sad news, obviously, but it's one of the reasons why, even when he did have him, he could barely ever play. However, we might not be ready to have that conversation. Do we miss Kieran Tierney? I heard Herb Garden score. I didn't know. Right, listen, Phil. So my laptop died. I didn't even get to see Herb Garden score. So if you guys could tell us about that final goal, that'll be good. Big up to Odegaard for scoring. Yeah, cool. Right, so that was the first team. No one got higher than a 6. And the players that did get a 6 were... Who was it? It was actually Kiwior and Nelson. So well done to those two guys. You had the best performance for me. And the fact that no one played higher than 6 is just inexcusable. I mean, if these players are coming in to try and prove a point that they're ready to be part of the first team squad, it really showed that there's quite a way to go. And then for me, what my boyfriend was saying is that it looks like there's a real drop-off from the first team to these guys. But what I was saying in response to that was, I think these guys can perfectly well do a job when they're interspersed between our more regular first team starters. But I think there was just so much of an upheaval and too many players that haven't had very many minutes playing, which meant that overall the game and midfield just kind of collapsed. However, if we had our usual players, but then we swapped Vieira in for Odegaard, I think he'd do fine. Or if we swapped Nelson for Saka, I think we'd do fine. And if we had Kiwior in defence, I think we'd do fine. But there was about... How many of our actual first team starters were playing? It was Eddie, Gabriel, White, Jorginho. Really, it was only about four of our... Oh, I'm getting a voicemail. Hold up. It's the sister. Oh. Hey, Lottie. Hello. I'm on a stream.
Later. Bye. I'll jump on.
Okay. I thought you might want to say about what you thought of Arsenal's performance.
I didn't watch it. I watched Man U.
Oh, what did you think of Man U's performance?
Shit. As bad as Arsenal, am I right? How do you feel sinking down to our level?
That's steep. That's deep. That's rich. That's the word. No, I'm really upset. We're all quite upset over here. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll tune in. What stream is it?
On my channel.
Oh.
Where else is it going to be? Sorry. Okay, jump in the chat.
Amazing.
All right.
Will do.
Okay, call Alex. Call Alex if you want to do admin. Right, bye. Bye, love you. That was the twin sister, Lottie. You guys know her. I'll get her on a stream soon. She supports Manchester United. Yeah, not a good evening for either of us. It's not a happy household, but I don't live with her. Anyway, who cares? Lottie on the sauce. No, Lottie's never on the sauce. Both of us are completely cold turkey. We don't drink, don't do anything. So that's good, I guess. Anyway, back to... I've completely forgotten what I was talking about. Let's see what you guys have to say. I'm going to the chat cat. It's the chat cat, everyone. For those who are only listening, which is normally what I do when I listen to a long YouTube video, it's a cat in front of a keyboard, and it's the chat catch-up time. So let's see. Loki said, Eddie had no service, but has to do more for me. Yeah, he was offering his feet for the ball, but wasn't really getting the ball. Just no part of the progression up the pitch was working today, really at all. It was such a shocking performance. Mudryk scored against us recently, and Kudus scored against us today. Yeah, we pretty easily could we have signed Kudus? I don't know. But we've definitely been linked with him. It would be very nice to sign him. What would it be as competition for Saka, I suppose? Yeah, it's a very, very, very typical Arsenal. So the goal was the only time you moved the ball quick, you scored. Kind of proves my point earlier. Yeah, so I didn't actually get to see the goal. I need to watch it back on highlights. And if that's the case, then you're totally right. It's been so frustrating seeing just how slowly we're kicking the ball this season. Maybe Arteta just needs to say, like, can you all play a bit quicker, please, lads? Because, I mean, the reason that we do so well with this passing is because we do it so quickly. If we just do it slow, then it's just pretty average, isn't it? So, well, I'll have to watch that goal back. And well done to Odegaard, I guess. I mean, but I don't really care. I don't really care. Sorry. The dot goal doesn't count, Jordan, as he didn't mean it. Oh, right. 3-0 to the Geordies. Oh, that's funny. At least you won something last season, Lottie. Yeah, They won this cup. And people have been saying, right, Manchester United won this last season, you know, like, what did it do for them? It doesn't really matter. But they had a terrible season overall, so therefore the cup kind of doesn't have such a huge impact. Whereas if you're aiming for really high things in the season, this cup can be used as a stepping stone to go on to bigger and better things. That Manchester United didn't do that because they were so poor all of last season, and their club as a situation is in so much of a different place to ours. You know, they are rotten from top to bottom. So it didn't have kind of the positive effect that it would have for a team like ours, where the club is together, the team is together, they work hard, you know, the like morale is there. This cup would do so much more positive for us if we were to win it than, you know, a little I don't know, sympathy cup last year for Man United, you know. Not a good evening for you two this evening then. Yep. No. 6 goals conceded between our two clubs. Fantastic. Can't even rate the subs. Well, we're going to have to try. So let's go. Right, I've got a couple of notes for the subs, but I don't know about you. I was pretty shocked that there were no changes at half time, because it was quite clear that we were being completely outplayed. You know, when those guys all come running towards us, like our slight kind of midfield and defenders, it just looked like a tidal wave that we just couldn't handle. And I thought we needed a bit more solidity in the defence or midfield, because it just wasn't happening. None of them are big physical guys, really, minus Gabriel. So we weren't really putting up much resistance at all, and there were no changes at half time. But so 56th minute, Jorginho comes off for Reiss. And I don't know about you, but I thought it was grim how he was getting booed by the West Ham fans. And it's just classless from them. He deserves so much better than that. He got a really mixed response. I just thought it was like disgraceful from them. Classless. He deserves much more than that. Even if you're not happy with him, like, don't boo when he first comes on the pitch. I understand booing mid-game, whatever, but when he first arrived on the pitch, at least give him a round of applause then. Like, he's been one of your greatest ever players. I thought that was, like, classless. And I felt for Reiss. He didn't deserve that. And when he did come on, he did a really good job. But anyway, Tomiyasu, he looked okay. But it was a bit late by then to kind of stabilise the game. Hugo, don't even get me started. I like your new profile picture saying, "This result makes me so nervous for Saturday." Yep. But that being said, it will be a much stronger starting 11. But it's certainly not good for camp morale, is it? I mean, Phil saying, Hammers fans hate any player that moves to a bigger club. Ince, Cole, Lamps, all got stick. Yeah, fair. It's just like classless, isn't it? Like, okay, West Ham fans, whatever. I don't know what I would do, though. I'd probably be the same. I just had this craving for some Ribena. That would be lovely. Underrated drink, but I don't have any. Anyway, so Tommy, 6. He was good when he came on. He's always good. He's great. I love him. Fantastic. Oh, God. Hugo saying Newcastle also rotated heavy and got a 3-0 win. Says it all, really. Tonight was just inexcusable, and I do not want to be hearing all these excuses saying that this cup doesn't matter, because I guarantee if we won it, all these same people would be saying, this is a huge cup, it's going to do great things for our season, look what it's done for the squad morale. The cup matters. Don't make a fool of yourself. It matters, and it's really, really disappointing that we've been knocked out. So Tommy upgrade on Zinny, 5. Yeah, Zinny got a 4.5, so Tommy upgrade would be a 5 or a 6. Yeah, but they were playing Man United. We were playing West Ham. West Ham just lost to Everton. I know Man United are bad, though. They're really bad at the moment. Right, so Tomiyasu did fine. Reiss, he came on and did really well. He did well. Made a difference since he came on, but it was a bit late. So again, he came on 56th minute or so. But you know what? Bringing on Reiss and Tomiyasu at that stage in the game, I think we were 2-0 down, or was it 3-0 by that point? You'd think with what? 60, 30 minutes to go, like more would happen. And just the team didn't respond to these substitutions at all. So Reiss did come on and play well, but he didn't impact it loads. Like everyone else just continued to play poorly. I can't give him any more than a 6. Can't give him any more than a 6. So Hugo saying FA Cup final is a minimum now, in my opinion. I agree. And there wouldn't be so much pressure going into the like this was such a good chance. I'm so fed up of giving up these good chances with all the teams that were already out of this cup to go and get some silverware. Shut up all the people saying, what have you won though? What have you won? Really give the squad a boost. And now it's just more unnecessary like criticism. And I still think we're going to do really well in the Premier League, but this just wasn't needed. And if Arteta really said that it doesn't matter, it's only the League Cup, then that's disgusting. That's disgraceful. Okay, anyway, Reiss, cool, 6. Ray Odegaard's game in the chat. So I didn't actually see the goal. Apparently it was a really good goal. He came on, was playing much better than Vieira was playing. Towards the end of the game, as we had a few more of our first team players on, it was starting to look a bit better and we scored right at the end. But to me, that just shows quite how much of a drop-off there was from the first starting 11 to bringing on some of our main guys. So Odegaard, well done. You're going to get a 6 as well. Maybe a 6.5 because you scored. Okay, maybe that didn't actually happen. We'll have to confirm whether that quote is true because it does seem quite far-fetched that he would really say that. So we'll have to get back to you on that. Right, and I'm going to give Saka and Martinelli a joint rating of a 6. So, which comment, Phil? I don't know which one you mean, sorry. So Odegaard had 2 shots and scored 7. Okay. Hugo said, when I saw the lineup, I thought it was sus. Kiwi and Gabriel together, 2 left-footed centre-backs. Yeah, the defence was nowhere near as solid as it usually is. Saka and Martinelli, for me, just both get a 6 because they didn't have much time. And by that point, West Ham were playing park the bus ball and just none of us were really doing anything. So that's it for the player ratings. Manager rating. Oh, I thought the lineup was actually like it was winnable. As we saw, Newcastle also played a heavily rotated lineup, but just the overall performance as we went through those player ratings has kind of made it clearer to me why we played so poorly. No one in particular had a stinker, but no one particularly played really, really well. Everyone played around a 5 or a 6. And as I said, when all of West Ham are playing 7s, 8s, then across the whole pitch, that's a huge gulf. We just didn't match West Ham's intensity, was passing the ball far too slow, like Wayne said. Real disappointing performance. No real leaders on the pitch in the first half. Once Reiss came on, I saw it. But before then, lackluster from almost everyone, or at least ineffective. Maybe they were trying, but it just wasn't really coming off. So for me, he didn't particularly do too much wrong, Arteta, for me. I was glad to see the rotation, but in hindsight, was it too much rotation? Was the team a bit too unsettled, having only 3 or 4 players from our first team? I don't know. The midfield was hugely weak, and why was Jorginho a single pivot against all these West Ham big monstrous players coming at us on the break? Maybe I don't know. But we should have had enough to win it with those players, but everyone just performed under par. Manager rating. So you guys are saying 4, trust the process, getting thinner. Arteta 3 rating. Gil saying, if Eddie's not getting the ball, then demand it. Thierry Henry would. They actually gave him the armband on Saturday. How about the corner flag as well? I did notice, actually, Gil, that Eddie was demanding the ball a bit more towards the beginning of the match, but then kind of faded into the background. Again, no one really stepped up for the play. Hugo, you reckon it was the personnel? Like I said, Kiwi, Gabriel and Zinni, 3 left-footers. Vieira, Jorginho, Havertz, midfield. Hey, you're so right. Is a Wenger midfield, 2010s, all technical, no muscle. Yeah, it was lightweight, technical players against men, you know, a West Ham team giving it 100%, and they just bulldozed us, really. We had nothing. So it's partly team selection, partly poor performances around the board. Manager gets a 4.5 from me. Yeah, Hugo makes a really good point. I really couldn't have said it better. And we're going to finish up soon. Let me know if you have any final thoughts. After this, I'm going to go downstairs, watch some other instant match reactions, see what they're saying, see if they come to similar conclusions. I haven't seen what anyone else has said so far, so it's cool to see whether they agree, disagree. Yeah, and then tomorrow I've got a full day of gardening. Oh, and it's raining. God, everything just sucks when Arsenal lose. It just sucks. Yeah, I'm miserable, so I'm going to end the stream pretty soon. Final thoughts. Not good enough. I'm not hearing people saying that this League Cup doesn't matter, it's below us, because I guarantee that the same people, if we won it, would be telling all the other rival fans how much of a good cup it is. I understand you're just trying to cope, but this is a real loss for me. Really upsetting, demoralising, and all we can do is see our first team come back on Saturday and give us all a morale boost. I still think that we'll do well this season. We're still undefeated in the league, but we need silverware, and this is a huge 1 out of 4 crossed off the list unceremoniously. I'm not happy with it at all. Really disappointed. I want to see a response on Saturday. So thank you very much to all of you that have been here today. To remind you, my main thing that I do is football art. I also enjoy talking about football with varying results of success, but I do football art. So this is one of my drawings. And next I'm doing bird camp, and then I turn them into hoodies and t-shirts, which you can see behind me on the door there. Phil saying, love your passion as always, Fran, but believe me, when I say League Cup has never mattered for me, it's all about the Prem and FA Cup for me. Like, you're totally entitled to your opinion. And maybe one day I'll feel like that, but today I do not. But thank you so much for watching the stream again, Phil. Thank you, everyone. Oh, Loki said, we'll contact you via email for info about the art side, if that's okay. Sure, yes. Check out my website. There's all of the info about my art and all the portraits and the clothing on there, and a bit about me as well, all my contact details. So do check out the website. Same name as this channel. Going to try and get a bit more buzz around the website, so do check it out. I should do a Jose Reyes portrait. I would love to. I would really love to. So what I'm doing at the moment is going back and drawing some of our legends, because, you know, just these players, I just worry, like, what if they leave and stuff. I just want to go back and do some legends. So yeah, Phil doesn't want me stressing. I won't stress. I'll be fine in the morning. It's just a bummer. It's just a bummer. But you guys, don't let Arsenal ruin your week. I'll try not to. Let's hope for a bounce back on Saturday. Happy Halloween for yesterday. Have a great evening. Have a great rest of the week. Remember to look after yourselves, look after each other. Thank you so much again for watching. I'll see you at the weekend where we'll do a Newcastle review. I'd love a Reyes t-shirt. Good idea, Phil. But anyway, I'm going to go and make all the timestamps from what we've discussed in this video, and I will see you on the next one. Turn on the notifications, and I'll always communicate with you on the community tab of my YouTube channel. So yeah, keep tabs on that for updates on when we're going to be live, and I'll see you next time. So thank you so much for joining. See you later, Hugo. See you, Phil. See you, Loki. Thank you, Guna Gathering. Subscribe to them, guys. Big game on Saturday, and I will see you then. Bye, everyone. Oh, yeah. Goodbye, Gil, as well.